So, I would like to state for the record that I have had this episode hyped to me. I have heard it described as an experience. I'm already beginning to regret having doubted this.
I mean, is this not what you expected for the first dungeon in Mira?
I mean, I don't think I could entirely truthfully tell you exactly what I did expect, so I don't feel like I can meaningfully answer that question.
Well, fortunately, here's a helpful local to tell us all about it.
Helpful? I want to ask many things.
Well, we're specifically interested in the story of the Golden Hero, who used a pickaxe to break open a door to save his girlfriend. But that door has now been closed, and we don't know how to reopen it.
I mean, with the pickaxe. I don't know. I'm getting a decidedly video game lore vibe from all this. This whole thing looks like. Hang on. Sorry, what was I saying? I was saying something before.
Something about lore? Anyway, so hidden inside the garden is a completely separate dungeon of sorts called the Tower of Daruga.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, I think you can kind of see where this one's going.
I guess we're getting that meta retro vibe, but in 2003 flavor. Like, right down to going for a blocky pixel dungeon and then fighting a slime. I'm actually kind of astonished at how little I have to say about this. I guess I'll say that I'm disappointed that they didn't make a 8-bit remix of the battle theme.
That would have been a good touch. Now that you mention it, I'm actually kind of surprised that Sakuraba didn't go for that.
I mean, the guy cranks out music at the rate that he does. Like, you'd think if anybody would be up for that, right? But I guess not. Anyway, I'm a big fan of the very ominous ticking timer.
You know, I don't actually know what happens when that runs out. I think it's just a forced encounter? Anyway, yeah, so the next important thing you need to know about the garden is that gravity is relative.
Aha.
So when we come out onto the ceiling, the things that were on the ground will come back to the ground. Just, you know, our ground.
Aha.
Anyway, there's the Golden Hero. He's just hanging out, and if you talk to him, he'll give you stuff.
Aha.
In this case, the jet boots make us move marginally faster on the overworld here, as it were.
Well, okay then. So far, I've concluded that this seems like a cross between, I don't know, the Ymir Forest from Tales of Symphonia and, and Metallic Madness Zone from Sonic CD. That's what I think so far. That's what I got. Anyway, those are something. I don't even know where to begin with these.
It's a giant demon hand, I guess?
Like, I was gonna say it's some kind of spider, but then it's really not really any kind of spider. It's clearly got 10 legs, at least.
honestly, they look more like fingers than legs.
I was gonna say the only way I have of getting any kind of good judgment on this is to get an arachnophobe to look at it and see if they're scared or not, but like, that seems not reasonable.
Is that all?
Like, that's just... I don't know what the hell it is, but whatever it is, it's extremely it. It's that thing to a very great extent. I got nothing. Does it have high numbers? Is it dangerous in the fight?
I guess? Like, it's more dangerous than these little firebomb things.
I'm guessing these are bombs. You know, we know how bombs work. Are they bombs?
They are exactly bombs.
Okay, those again. Good to see some JRPG principles are holding.
Here.
Hey, we're gonna cram a bunch of food down Jella's throat because she got owned at the start of this fight.
Yeah, the entire cheese wheel is a time-honored strategy, which we must respect.
Is that all? Is that all?
Yeah, now we see it from that angle. I am definitely getting the weird mutant hand bat vibe. It's like a bat made out of hands.
Yeah, that's a good descriptor of it.
I mean, and when you think about it, actual bats are basically just like giant hands. It's how it works. Anatomically, I cannot be refuted. What exactly this means for any of this, I can't tell you, but, you know.
Yeah, these guys are a little annoying in that, you know, like most enemies that hit for like 4 different elements, they have their moments. It is a bit obnoxious to try and block like Fire, Darkness, and Kronos all in the same combo, but yeah. The actual numbers are not too terrible.
I'm trying to form an opinion about the backdrop for this fight. Like, I can see how it's attempting to be evocative of the design of the main room, but also it looks absolutely nothing like anything. So, all told, I don't really know what I think. I mean, I guess one thing I think is that this fight is going on a bit. Like, I get the sense it's kind of gonna be a thing in this 2003 JRPG.
Fortunately, this guy is extremely easy to avoid, so...
Small mercies, I guess.
Is it like, I mean, you can see they just walk around the fountain. Like, you would almost have to actively choose to fight it.
Well, alright then. Well, I guess now I'm back to having to think about this place that we're in. And I can inform you that I still have nothing.
So, I mentioned in the main room that the blocks moved according to, like, the local gravity.
I'm already terrified of the implications.
So this scale is how you determine that gravity. So, like, you'll notice right now, the red scale is heavier, and thus the red block is in the water. So, by putting water in the blue side of the scale, we can make the blue block heavier, and then that will change how the blocks behave in the main room.
Aha. This makes total sense.
This puzzle is significantly less complicated in practice than it is to describe.
You know that meme that's from Pop Team Epic where the one character says, I get it, I understand now, and the caption that's pointing to them says, does not get it at all? That's me right now. But hey, it looks like it's worked out okay.
Right, so see, now that we've made the blue ones heavy, they fall according to where we are. which means we can now break this chain.
Uh-huh. Very symbolic.
Anyway, our next objective is to kill all of the slimes, and that has created that treasure chest now in the bottom left. So that is our next immediate goal.
I guess looking at this, I can see how it works with the doors and the going in the room. I mean, it's very weird, but like I definitely don't like it, but I get it. This part of this dungeon will not confuse me anymore. I'll take the victories that I can get.
Yeah, anyway, he tells us something about, like, balance being important. It is not. Balance is never important in this section at all.
Like, I mean, was that not a bleak hint about the scales?
Well, no, the scales are just outright explained to you if you talk to the lady.
No. I mean, maybe it's foreshadowing? I don't know. I mean, I should have known that we'd be distilling the essence of a pickaxe at some point. I was briefly deluded into thinking that because of the weird meta video gamey nature of this place, we'd just pick up a pickaxe, but then that's me completely underestimating the game that we're playing, isn't it?
Is it you fool, you absolute buffoon. How could you have thought such a thing?
Just an elementary error in logic.
Anyway, now that we have the pickaxe, we're actually pretty much done. We have one last thing to do, although it's very easy. Since we broke that chain in the main room, now, if we can get to a point where we can reach the red block, the key will just fall and be available to us.
Cool. That's cool. That is cool, right? I wouldn't really know. What I do know is that I absolutely love it when video games use the player inventory as a replacement for a user interface. Like, just then, all we've got is the scales with its 3 different settings, and you're just choosing setting, but you can't just open a menu and choose which setting you want. You have to go to the pool and get the water and then put the water in the scale a bunch of times. So I'm a huge fan of having to do that 3 times. Like, that's just a flex.
And that's it. That's all there is to it, really. It's one of those things where when you know the puzzle coming in, it's extremely easy, but
yeah, in retrospect, that's pretty underwhelming. I started out being like, okay, the promise is delivered on, and now I'm just like, man, there really wasn't very much to this.
yeah, the actual dungeon is fairly straightforward. But,
An ancient relic
well,
from the looks of it. Maybe it
I mean,
used to be
given
some sort of an
2003 JRPG dungeon design tendencies, maybe it's actually a good thing
Could it really be here?
that there was so little to that.
The pendant doesn't seem to be responding to anything.
I mean, I distinctly remember
Quiet.
being in the early game in Tales of Symphonia being
There's
like,
something here.
I like how short these dungeons are, and like, Lord, did I ever come to regret thinking that.
Are you sure?
Anyway, this looks fun.
What's going on? It's as if the magnets are responding to something.
Yes,
And is this that Heart of the Cards thing that I keep hearing about?
Yes?
That sucker is huge!
Well, I guess this was conceptually inevitable. So did we just have a battle transition inside a battle transition?
Yes? Anyway, yeah, so this is the Cursed Magnus. It's,
Here.
well, I suppose you can see for yourself.
I mean, I can very much see for myself. And yeah, all I can think is what happens if we distill this thing into a card?
I mean, we can take a picture of it and then turn that picture into a card. That's sort of the same thing, right?
I don't know, I can't keep track. I'm not even sure how meta we're being in this fight. Like, the cards just decided to fight us and now we're fighting a giant card, but like, is there anything on the giant card? Like, is it a giant card of anything in particular? Or is it just like a card? What's happening?
There is sort of an explanation for this after the fight, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
Like, there was very much an implication that this thing was made from our cards, but like, it's not any of our cards. Is it breaking apart? It's breaking apart.
This is actually one of the this is one of the few bosses that actually has really obvious damage tells. Like, in comparison to most of the other game, like, it's extremely easy to tell how close you are on this one.
No, you don't.
I mean, I guess. Also, I like how it's like it's broken in a manner that suggests it's made of like stone or something, but also it's flexing like it's made of paper. I'm a big fan of that, but not as big a fan of as I am of the fact that it's just like a generic card. Like, that's against the rules.
Extreme attack.
So it has like 2 attacks of note. The first one, as you might have seen, it was a dark finisher. It does like 3 hits. It's really not all that notable. The other one should be coming up shortly, but it's called, I think, Kronos Cage, and it has the obnoxious tendency to inflict stun.
There is nothing I love as much as I love stun-based attacks in JRPGs.
Also, if you've been paying attention, you will notice that it also has that lovely category of taking like half damage from every element.
Nice. Well, that sucks. Like, ugh. I'm so angry about this.
My attacks are consistent and effective. Extreme attack.
Did
Innuendo.
Did that man seriously just say my attacks are consistent and effective as a battle taunt? Like, is that the level that we're operating on here?
I mean, Liud is a professional diplomat, so, you know, he's gonna be very straightforward and simple with his taunts.
Aha.
Special attack. Freezing act.
Okay. I just... Like, has he been saying that this whole time and I've just not been noticing?
I think that one was new for that particular finisher, but a lot of his stuff is like that, yes.
Because I would be, like, really quite disappointed in myself if he'd been saying that for like 5 videos and I just not noticed. Maybe I just need to have more faith in myself. Maybe I need to believe that I am somehow maintaining my sanity despite, you know, you doing this to me.
I mean, we did just yell at a card to kill it.
You say that like it helps. Okay, so what? We got the giant card?
This isn't one of them.
No,
Just
this
another
is,
shadow. A mere shadow of the real end.
a little
Magnus.
more complicated than that.
A shadow?
So it turns out,
Yes.
this is where the
I
End
bet
Magnus
End Magnus
was
sealed away
here.
at one time.
However,
When it was moved, part
it's
of its
since
great
been
power was
moved.
burned into the spot and remained as an imprint. With the other End Magnus being unsealed,
So,
the shadow's power must
this
be
is
suppressed,
perhaps a bit of a problem,
giving it a tangible
because
form
that
of its
means
own.
that somebody other than us
If that's
has
true, then
unsealed the End Magnus.
Then the End Magnus that was sealed here must have
Aha.
been unsealed ages ago.
So where is it?
I mean,
now?
I'm sure that's very dramatic, but I'm still hung up on the metaphysics of all
why
this.
don't we go ask Duke Calburn? He's the ruler of Mira, right? He might know something.
We should also be wary of the Empire. Whoever came here on the Goldoba must be up to no good. I'm worried as to what fate they have in mind for Mira. Fortunately,
I mean,
the Empire is on good terms with this country.
I would imagine
I
the
think it
same
unlikely that they would
fate
resort to
that
open
they
force
have in
as
mind
did
for,
back in
you know,
Diadem.
the known world, namely
Jack must be on that
annihilation.
battleship. With a little luck, I'll get that weasel.
Like, I don't think there's a whole
Okay,
lot of room for
let's head
nuance
back
on
to
this
the
one. Just a feeling.
Look, what kind of empire would they be if they didn't summon the ancient evil god and then use it as a diplomatic bargaining chip?
Yeah, diplomacy. Please don't touch the rock.
Water, air, wood, and now stone.
What are you mumbling, Shella? Let's go.
Hmm? Oh yeah, sorry.
So, right, the things get moved, and then the places where they were just become weird card echoey things that don't matter but also are dangerous. I got nothing.
These must be the strangers they were talking about. Where were you? What have you been up to?
Hey,
Honestly, I don't know where to even begin answering that.
Don't play innocent. Lady Melodia has been kidnapped. By a group of suspicious-looking strangers from what we've heard. Must be the lot of you. Who else could it be?
You know,
What? You're out of your
I
mind!
think for once they're actually right about that.
Wait,
I mean,
everyone
would you trust any of these people?
A friend of mine. He'd never do something like that.
I might trust
Who
Jella.
could it be?
Yeah, I
No
mean,
one
Callus
here
absolutely
even
would.
think of doing such a thing to Lady Melodia. Are you saying the Empire is behind this?
Oh, I mean,
Lady
yes,
is
but
a
also...
personal friend of Emperor Gelderblame, as you well know. Get out of the way, Trill. You'll be in trouble too if you keep acting like that.
Ow!
don't touch her!
That certainly wasn't animation.
Callus, no. We should do as they say. For now.
Dang.
I don't think you're supposed to say the for now part out loud. I think that's a small tactical blunder.
We've reported your capture to the Duke's Manor. Palace guards will be coming by shortly. Until then, behave yourselves.
I'm trying to imagine a suitable aesthetic for the police of a pastry village.
I'm worried about the little lady. The
Don't really
Empire
want to
must
continue
be
on this path.
Giacomo's men. Their intent must be to force Mira to hand over the End Magnus in exchange for her safety.
The Empire must be running out of time, now that both Diadem and Inu Inue are taking measures against them.
Mira lacks the military strength needed to face the Empire.
Okay, so like, help me out here. We've literally just now established that the End Magnus is not here. So, it's either already been handed over or is somewhere else.
We can't just sit here and wait.
So what is literally
We must
anybody
find
still
Lady
doing
Melodia
here?
and rescue her ourselves.
Well, I mean, we did just get arrested by the
Okay, then.
pastry police.
So,
But like, why do they give a shit?
Well, because Melodia's been captured. So,
But like, we're all theorizing that this has to do with the End Magnus that's here, which, like, one way or another, obviously isn't here, so, like, what the hell am I missing? If this is, like, all weirdly circular, are we just supposed to go along with this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
well, we are now locked in this house, made of candy.
I mean, can we eat our way out? I mean, I'm only half joking there.
If only there was a way that we could get out and not have to fight the villagers.
Yep, see? Somebody's finally talking sense. Uh-huh. So far, so reductive. Looks like we're up. Okay, I guess we're not up. Coward. Also, I mean, like, if you can eat it, can you not just break it?
I guess the idea is that they think, like, breaking it would, like, make too much noise?
Oh, wow, he's really going for it. I mean, are we insane for eating the wall? You haven't been eating the wall? Have you guys never ate a wall? In this place that's literally made out of consumable food, apparently? Like, I distinctly remember thinking this was just an aesthetic that somebody had committed to way too hard, but no, we're really going here, huh? And they haven't. We're expected to believe that nobody's ever attempted to eat a wall.
I feel like the more pertinent bit there is that, like, yes, people have, but also, like, you know, as Trill points out, like, wow, you ate an entire wall, what the fuck is wrong with you?